Morning, good evening, friends. Welcome to Token Summit DAO. This is now our 6th working group and hanging out with friends here on Sunday afternoon. It is 3 o'clock Eastern time, well, a few minutes past, and joining with me here for our 6th working group in not any particular order, we have Blur's Day, Ernest of Gaia, Dax, Amy, Tyler, Mrs. Yonks, Jay-Z, and E-Money 2Zips. So happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome. We've got a lot of stuff to do. We're literally maybe 3 weeks and I think a day or two, because if I remember correctly, 2/22/22, February 22nd, which we are proclaiming is International DAO Day, for our very first mini summit falls on a Tuesday, and really excited about the timing of this. There's a good amount of us here that are going to be participating in Ethereum Denver, which is just right around the corner. And that's one of the things that I'll probably, we've got some agenda prepared over here. Let's take a look at what all that we've got. Let me make this a little bit bigger for everybody so that you can see it better on the live stream. And one of the things that I wanted to actually talk about before we get into the agenda today is an opportunity, and that's one of the things that'll be interesting to see where that falls. But one of the DAOs that has a decent amount of cred, they actually facilitated MCon here. That was, I think, June of 2021. Is Metacartel, and then they have a new incubator style dynamic, and I created this funding opportunities over here and provided some details. So this is actually something that I submitted for Token Summit DAO literally here within the last 12 hours as this Metapod pitch competition at ETH Denver 2022. And looking at the pitch competition details, let's actually look at the, I actually just copied and pasted. I'll just open up their actual Notion page and bring, well, I've got this already set up. Let's just look at this. So the competition process is submitting in Discord via this ticket spots. That was kind of cool. And let me actually just show the screenshots down here of what that looked like. So here was the screenshot for in their Discord using this ticketsbot.net. This isn't the first time that I've seen this Discord bot utilized, and that's something that we'll probably be talking about later, not necessarily during today's working group. And then for the pitch application, there was these questions that were asked. And then here was the response that Mrs. Yonks and I prepared last night that we submitted. And then here is the screenshot of the submission for this. And the reason that I wanted to show this is one of the things that I like capturing information just to potentially put in a future playbook type of scenario. Because like the opportunity for us to do something similar at a future token summit is absolutely a possibility. But more importantly, will be here in the near term as far as the how that this process goes. And the reason that I also want to bring this forward is it's absolutely impossible for Mrs. Yonks or myself to be looking at for all of these opportunities, and just want to put this out here to you all to always be on the look for opportunities that may be aligned with Token Summit or any other project that we're working on, because again, that's a solid opportunity. So I'm gonna stop talking and let anybody else chime in some thoughts as far as this Metapod competition. I believe the next dynamic will be a 2-minute pitch competition in Discord on February the 4th. And when I get the details finalized on that, I'll get an event in our Token Summit DAO Discord. But in the meantime, I'll stop talking and I'll do some, yeah, here we go. Stop talking now.
That's exciting that we're looking at funding options. We also have a grant ready to submit for Unlock, and just wanted to encourage you guys, and I'm going to put up a bounty board for this. If any of you guys know Web3 grants of any type, DAOs that are looking for projects or anything else, we're going to do a bounty board for that too.
And I was just real quick disabling streamer or enabling streamer mode here on Discord. For some reason, I always have to find where this is. Here it is. Okay, so here's the Token Summit DAO Discord. And one of the things too, is we've got this DAO diplomacy section category here. So I did add Metapod, and I should probably put the link in here for this pitch competition. Link or details about the Metapod pitch competition. And the first prize on this, I'll go back to there in just a second. So there's this channel. And one of the things, the first prize on this is, I think, let's see, where's it at? So grant prizes, first place is 10,000, second place is 5,000, and third place is 2,500. And here's the timeline as far as the competition process. So this is the date that I was talking about. And then the main event is here in Denver. And this will be like, as we are nearing closer and closer to East Denver, there'll be a calendar getting full already. So that's one of the things for those of you that are coming out here, and I know different people are coming out at different times, but we'll keep everybody in the loop as far as those opportunities. But moving on to our agenda here. So this is again, the funding opportunities. And this is, we've been working quite a bit on our Notion. And one of the things too that we did is that we went ahead and bumped up the plan to the enterprise level right here. And this is one of the reasons for this is wanting to really put enterprise grade framework in place here at Triple Win Foundation. And Token Summit DAO is functionally one of our first projects that we're really working on. And I think it'd probably be good. I haven't really spoken a whole lot about the DAO hack, but this is another project that is kind of like a fun project is how that I've categorized it. And like most recently, this is some information that I shared during our book club on Saturday, is that made the decision to go ahead and bring the DAO hack under the Triple Win Foundation. And we'll be talking more about that here after we get DAO Day launched. So let's get back to the agenda here for today and make this bigger here for everybody. So let's see, Genesis proposal. So this is something that, and for what is a Genesis proposal? So Genesis, and this is a biblical reference, is the first proposal that we're going to be creating for Token Summit DAO. And this is something that we weren't really borrowing or utilizing a lot of creativity for. We felt really good about just borrowing a lot of the stuff that was in the Retoken Genesis proposal. And thank you to Tyler for filling in any of the details last night on this. And the reason that this is, we're wanting, so like, and I'll talk about the tokenomics, but just going through here, wanting to make sure that we have all of this, because we're going to be putting this forward for a vote on Snapshot. And I'm going to actually digress real quick and take a look. This is for people that may or not be familiar. Snapshot.org is one of the top places for DAO governance. And one of the reasons is because it doesn't cost anything. So all of the stuff is and I don't completely understand how that they do their snapshot dynamic where they can make all of this for free, but it is, and it doesn't cost. So here's Token Summit DAO. We're at tokensummit.eth, and right here, as you can see, let's create your first proposal. So that is going to be this one right here, the Genesis proposal. So as have mentioned, Token Summit DAO is a subsidiary DAO of 3Win DAO, Triple Win Foundation, which is a Wyoming DAO LLC, as well as Token Summit DAO, which is a subsidiary entity / DAO of Triple Win Foundation. And the vision here, and this is something that kind of put forward for, earlier in Discord via tip check. Pretty simple vision. Together, we will ascend Token Summit, discover metaverse and Web3 using NFTs, DAOs, and all the tokens. And super simple mission: deliver a fun and profitable one-day virtual summit in February 2022, then a 3-day event 3 times a year after February, June, October annually. So I'm going to just pause here and see if there's any thoughts that we need to add to this as far as the vision or the mission, or if we're good with this.
I like it as short and sweet.
Anybody else, or should we keep rolling?
Get rid of the comma after Feb.
Damn it. Can you hear me now? Sorry, I didn't realize which mute button I had on. When you say together we will ascend Token Summit, is that like a reference to a mountain?
It's both. It's because we're in Colorado. It's a pretty mountainous state, and Summit, that was kind of the thing of the making our roles, things like mountain guides and Sherpas, and just kind of a play on Colorado and mountains and all that. It doesn't really have any other significance other than that.
All right, tight. I'm in.
Well, and we are at tokensummit.eth and Token Summit. So like, that's just kind of, again, leaning into the branding right there in our vision statement. So it's I think a metaphorical, you know, like some people aspire to climb Everest, and like, and for a lot of people, the whole crypto space is kind of scary right now. And that's one of the things that we want to be Sherpas here to help. And that's something that we haven't really ingrained yet into our culture, and it'll be interesting to see if we embrace the Sherpa somewhere. I don't think that we've actually incorporated a Sherpa Discord role yet, but it's a very real possibility. So moving on here, it sounds like that everybody likes just a super simple one bullet point on the mission, and the founding principles are absolutely copy and pasted from Retoken, word for word. Didn't change a word at all. And I do want to read through them because I think it's great founding principles, which is one of the reasons that didn't change them. So the first one is community owned and operated. Second is full transparency. Third is best practices, find, implement, and refine. And then the final bullet point is we will be intentional about developing win-win-win projects.
When you say we will be intentional, what do you mean by that?
On this last one?
Yeah, what does that mean?
So intentional is just more of a thought process, and then the win-win-win is like our partnered community situation where we're talking about providing an 80-20 profit sharing split on the upsold NFT tickets for Token Summit. So, and like, that's just kind of the underlying ethos of pretty much everything that we do. And then like just bubbling into Triple Win Foundation, which at its heart is about three wins, triple wins there.
I think it might be better to say we will be exclusively focused on developing win projects. When you're saying we will be intentional, that the way that is worded is it's the syntax on intentional is not it's not smooth. It's like when you're saying we will be intentional, that the way that you're using intentional right there is technically correct, but in terms of syntax, it doesn't actually fit the participle of the sentence or the statement.
I think exclusively focused is good. And you mentioned
Like intentional and that's why I was asking what you were saying. You're saying that our intentions are specifically to focus on win-win-win projects, right?
Correct. And it's about doesn't sound right here as far as exclusively.
It should be on developing. Yeah, there you go.
So look good?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So are we good with the founding principles? Is there anything else that we need to include? If there is, we'll still have a little bit of time before we send this out. Go ahead.
Oh, best practices. Find, implement, evaluate, and refine.
Like that?
Yeah, I agree with it.
Fabulous.
I recently took some training on presentations and stuff because they make me do stuff like that. I recommend just kind of get rid of the caps, for the find, implement, evaluate, and refine. The implement, evaluate, and refine, just make those lowercase. Find is fine because it's the first one, but the rest is kind of, otherwise it's just kind of like, it's like using bold everywhere, you know?
No, I'm
because what you did there is what I do all the time, and apparently the people lose interest.
Should we do that up here too?
Yep, exactly. I know we're splitting hairs here, but
no. Well, I mean, this is going to be like on the blockchain functionally forever, you know, and like having it, you know, and I felt really good about the one that we did for Retoken, and that's why I just copied and pasted it here. And I love like, you know, elevating it a little bit. So fabulous. I love the feedback. And well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's just like when someone looks at this, obviously they're not going to be looking at that with this level of criticality or, you know, or scrutiny. But yeah, we'll just make it as best we can. But but if we don't, it's still going to be really good, you know. So we don't have to sweat it too much either.
For sure. And I literally lost sleep over creating this Genesis proposal for Retoken, like, because this was something that we had to get done for our decentralized governance hackathon that we did win a grand prize for, by the way. So, and so very, and I don't think it had to do with the Genesis proposal, but it was a whole package deal. So, and I heard you getting ready to chime in there, E-Money.
I do think it's important to do some either refining or continuous refinement on it, though, because as the project gains steam and more high-level people start looking at it, they are going to judge us off of this particular thing. So it is something that I think there is merit in taking time to review and go over.
Yeah, absolutely. And whether we choose to do that from one season to another, and would you know, like, that's actually a great segue into this next section here is Token Summit DAO seasons. So what is a season? A season is an agreed upon window of time when members can align on projects that help us in achieving our broader mission. in season 0. And I think I actually need to bring this up here. Because season is this one, and season 1 is going to be Token Summit 622, which is June 21st, 23rd, 2022. And I need to get the, let's see. And I don't know if we want to do, I don't know, that's fine. During this initial season, we are laying a solid foundation while being intently focused on delivering value to our members with the first International DAO Day, DAO Day 2222 on 2/22/22, 22nd February 2022.
Oh, no. Too many, too many twos.
Help us out, Blurs.
Just get rid of that one. Yeah, get rid of that. It's redundant.
Okay.
Get rid of the parentheses. People can figure that out from there. Also put a comma after season, particularly when dealing with international audiences. You want to be more Oxford-y with your commas.
It really does make a huge, oh wait, can y'all hear me? It really
we can.
Having the proper punctuation makes a massive difference when you're using Google Translate. Like, it can literally throw off the entire translation with just a misplaced comma, like, or a misplaced semicolon. It's actually kind of crazy. I just watched a seminar where this guy was talking about how to write things that could translate easily in Google Translator, and he explained like the way that it's coded is like they use like Oxford grammar and stuff, and they try to pull from references for the highest grammar points because those are going to be the most uniform for translation. It was actually pretty crazy. I had no idea that so much went into that.
So do we get that sentence dialed in there then?
Say that again.
So on this season 0 for the Genesis, I'm wondering if we should just do like this, take out Genesis here. I think we should. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Concur. I also think that you should put that in whatchamacallit format.
Yeah, be consistent with how you're doing your dates, because your season 1, you're doing it the way I would normally expect to see it, but season 0, you're doing it in the Yonk special. I'm just teasing, but yeah, I like that better.
What date and time format do you like? Oh, I love mine in Yonk special. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, you can actually go into Excel and you can select that as the format. It says Yonk special. I
just saw that. I was talking with my accountant about it, and I was like, oh, I know that guy.
Right.
February 22nd.
Oh, thanks.
That was great. we get the grammar perfect, and then screw up.
We get the day, like, yeah, that's fabulous.
That right before that period, we changed that date as well.
Absolutely.
No. Oh yeah. Sorry, I see what you're doing. I see now.
I'm a copy and paste fiend. All right. So how's that look there for season? And I don't know if we really need to. Do you think that would be value to put forward the rest of our seasons here in this? I mean, we've already got it broken out like in let's see, on the tokenomics. It'd be super easy to do.
If they're already spelled out nicely, I mean,
Why
oh,
don't we
geez,
just why don't we
I
just make a reference link to say for season 0 is now. For more information about season 0, click here. Is that, or can you not do that on the blockchain?
Well, I wouldn't put all 8 seasons or whatever in there. I think that'd be a little mushy, but at most maybe up to season 2 just to cover 2022. And then what Tyler's saying, maybe future season.
I think this is a heading 2. And then should we just have a reference back to our tokenomics page here in Notion? Should we, this line almost seems like doesn't add any value to me. Should we just delete it? Or does it add value?
It does.
Do we need that similar one here? Just leave it blank.
Take it out.
Take this one out?
Yeah, we can add that in when we get to season 1.
No, well, this is season 1 here.
No, I mean,
I'm talking about this line right here.
Oh, first standard token summit, 3-day virtual event, which will be delivered on. So season 1 will be the first full token summit, and then put 3-day, put a comma after summit over there, and then put a 3-day virtual event occurring on, there you go. And then you don't need it for the second one now because that's just like it's going to be the same thing. So you're fine there. Yeah. Reefer. Yonks.
No, that's this way right here.
Oh.
Someone's getting excited for Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, look, when in Rome, right? When in Rome. Okay.
And let's see, I'll just throw in this link there.
Woo. Woo.
I didn't spell that right. Is that a good reference for additional seasons? Give us a nice backlink to our tokenomics page.
Yes.
Does it have to be a big old, can you embed the hyperlink?
No, I can in Notion, but not in Snapshot. And that's where this is going to ultimately end up.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, because the goal is just to copy and paste this into, and the other thing too, like using the type here, planning on doing a blog post, and that's something that we'll talk a little bit later about, because as a part of our content strategy and really wanting to elevate our content strategy here compared to how that we've been doing content in other DAOs.
Prince had offered to help with some of the writing on that. He was looking at doing a blog post once a week. So if you want to connect with him offline about some topics and some different things, he was excited to help out with that.
Yeah, and make sure, Tyler, that we allocate some time within this working group. I don't want to go off on that tangent right now, but I would love to talk about content strategy. And if we run out of time here, that may be a specific like content strategy working group that we spin up, because it's definitely a very important component of what we're doing here, because Token Summit is all about content.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're already 45 minutes in, so we got a lot more to cover. Are we good on the Genesis proposal?
This is something that I want everybody to be confident in, because this is going to be our first proposal that we're going to be voting on. And since we're talking a little bit about, well, we're not really talking about tokenomics, but let's actually go here, because the one thing that I do want to make sure that everybody is in agreement on is here for season 0, looking at doing, so right now this is working group number 6, and we obviously have 9 people on here today instead of 6. So this is something that I'll update here based upon that number. But this is what I'm actually wanting to do, an airdrop here, which will be our very first airdrop for Token Summit DAO, TS DAO later today. Go ahead.
Speaking of airdrops, eMoney and Prince, I don't have either of your wallets, so I need the whole thing, not just your ENS if you use one, but just send me a DM on Discord so I can get you added to the airdrop.
Yeah, and that's very important, guys and ladies, because we're literally talking about doing the airdrop, and it saves me a lot of effort if we can have that information, so I don't have to come back and do a one-off airdrop later. So that's the plan here. And so I feel really good as far as the token allocation, at least for these initial events. And I feel really good about what I've put forward for season 0 and season 1. Here's season 1. And we can have more conversation about the tokenomics. Like Tyler said, we've got a lot of agenda, but this is the last chance anybody will have to chime in, because like I said, am planning on doing the airdrop, and then do want to create the Genesis proposal so that everybody that is on the Genesis team that will be receiving TS DAO tokens, social tokens, will be able to vote on our very first snapshot. And that's something that I would actually like to, I think that this would be a great opportunity to do a POAP snapshot plugin, where we can do a POAP for like the first vote here on that as well. So I'm going to stop talking and let you all chime in as far as, and specifically providing feedback on the tokenomics specifically for the events. And it's pretty simple for the rest of season 0 as well. But yeah.
This hasn't really changed, right? This is the same as it was.
It's changed a little bit. So this is like, we were talking the last time we had any conversation about tokenomics, we decided, and let me show the summary here. So this is something that I put forward as far as doing the 5%. We spoke about this during the previous working group, which everybody thought was solid. And then this was really just breaking down the 5% of the 222,222,000 that we minted for season 0. And this is so I don't know how much that it's really changed. And we're in season 0 allocating 50% of the token supply to the team that builds this here for and it's 5.5 million tokens. And again, this isn't set in stone, and we have a very large, as you can see, pool for a bounty board. So this is something that I would really like everybody that's contributed thus far above and beyond outside of the working groups. This is an opportunity to get some retroactive bounties for contributions. And I know that there's a couple people that have made some substantial contributions that aren't on the call today, like DSign, that's done a lot of work on our website and the Discord, as well as OX Animal that has done quite a bit of work on getting the Discord set up as well. So anybody that's done some work, we've got a large bounty board budget for season 0. And again, the goal here is to just do the airdrop for like these initial events, the Genesis team meeting, and then this is working group 6 that we're on, which have been 2-hour events. And really the goal here is to move away from doing the token on a per event basis to just doing it via a coordinate season, because that is a lot easier from an administration standpoint. And whether we look at doing something else for season 1 or the rest of the seasons, that's all open for conversation. We're really just needing to get something where we can start having some governance with Snapshot and move some of the, like, because besides the Genesis proposal, the other thing that we need to have in place like as soon as possible is our multi-sig wallet. We've already have several thousand Matic from Retoken, and we just need to have our multi-sig in place here on Polygon so that we can send that over, so that we can start, you know, having a little bit of funds to work with here at Token Summit DAO. All right, well, I'm gonna take everybody with the silence there, that everybody's good with where we're at here for season 0 on the tokenomics. And the tokenomics conversations aren't finalized, and it's something to right now we're looking at 5% here for season 0 of the token pool for TS DAO. So going back to our Genesis proposal, so the governance process, board of stewards, this is something that we've spoken about in some other situations. And this is kind of like, you know, more of along the line of a board of directors. And this is something that we really like, that while we're working towards a more of a decentralization where we get maturity with the DAO. And then if that's something that we want to continue to operate with, then that's something that will be decided later. And that's, again, something that we've seen at some other organizations. Spork DAO, Tyler and I have been participating in Opolis. Like, we literally have a live stream coming up here in a couple hours where we're going to be claiming our very first work tokens with Opolis, which is an employment commons, and they have a board of stewards there. So that's kind of where we're borrowing that concept from. And my expectations are for people that would like to participate on that, then there will be some additional tokenomics. And again, like talking about how that the tokenomics aren't finalized, this is me just thinking out loud, because really would like to incorporate some sort of tokenomics incentive for the board of stewards. So that'll be more of a probably season 1 conversation where we really start. And whether we do that in season 1 or season 2, sometime here in 2022, to help guide the maturity of Token Summit DAO and what we're creating here. So the initial voting and proposal process, this is again copied and pasted, and I think Tyler modified it a little bit. And this would be a really good segue. I don't know if everybody saw in Discord. Let me search for it here real quick. So I spun up a forum on Metaforo, and this is something that we saw in use for the first time over at OpenDAO. And let me just open up a link on this. So Amy was the first person that signed up and did a first post. So what was your initial thoughts on this, Amy, as far as this process?
It seems pretty easy. That's why I got on it. You know, I'm not very techno, but yeah, it wasn't that hard at all. So when you posted it, I happened not to be busy, and so I went on it and did it. So that's good. And by the way, me and Shuling has been working on the POAP. So I'll be dropping them off this week, and I'm excited to do the POAP for the, what you call this, for the voting, the snapshot, our Genesis voting. So we've been working together to create a design for the POAPs. Thank you.
Nice.
Look at Jay-Z
Thanks.
coming in hot. Super excited to have some help for Amy. And Amy, thanks for all you do on the
Yes,
POAP. So fun.
yes.
We
JC has been doing really great, and we've been back and forth on the background. But yeah, it's gonna be released this week because I have to order it. He just finished doing it for me.
Well, thanks, Amy, for all you do. And Jay-Z, thank you so much for joining that team. That's been a huge amount of work for Amy. And also just want to recognize Jay-Z for building out our Chinese language community in Retoken. So that's been super exciting. It's the first channel that we've had that people said we want to build this thing out international. So we thought our first international deployment was going to be in Australia, but it might be in China. So who knows? But super excited, Jay-Z, that you're building out that channel. We'd love to have more international friends. So very excited to have you doing that.
Yes, thanks for that, and looking forward to getting a POAP for the snapshot plugin. So that's something else that we can figure out here, because that'll be, I think, the first time actually using that or implementing that. So where I was going, and I don't know if anybody else was able to try that link out, but Metaphoro wasn't actually working, which is kind of disappointing, because I was wanting to show everybody the live stream here on that. So because was actually thinking about potentially using Metaphoro for the temp check aspect of this. So instead of doing like the Discord with the sesh bot, and I'm going to actually do that here, create Discord poll with sesh bot plus let's see, thread. And I don't know if we should break this into a, no, I think it's fine like this. Create Discord poll with seshbot. And I'm not sure, we can, again, if we want to use the forum, we can do that. Proposal draft on Notion. I do like this workflow here, and that's something that we'll have to get a space. Well, we actually have the content calendar, because I really think that the having the like a blog post is a component of our.
Hey,
go ahead, Tyler.
Can we schedule a separate call around content, because it's super important, but we just have a lot to get through. This is more time sensitive.
Yeah, let me see. Okay, so so fast forwarding here, initial voting, proposal process. So most of this is just like links here, and then the token policy. And again, this is a copied and pasted where we just did a replace on it from Retoken. So to fast forward here so that we can get to more of our agenda, does anybody have any? And I'll include a link for this where everybody can review. You can review it here. I'll throw this in the so if you could make sure that you get that reviewed, because the goal is to do the airdrop and to get this Genesis proposal out here sometime tonight or tomorrow. And if everybody wants a little bit of time to review, we can agree upon a certain review period before we can call it good. So what is everybody's thoughts on that? Deadline. Let's put a deadline in here for this piece of content. Include time. So it's 4 o'clock Eastern time. EST. So what should we put for 10 p.m.?
Yeah, that's good.
Any objections? Got a thumbs up from Dax. There we go. So let's go back to our agenda. Okay, so Collabland airdrop. So we already talked about the airdrop. Socio. So go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, hey, real quick on Collabland. Are people able to claim the TS DAO role before, and then when the airdrop hits, they'll get assigned, or do they have to wait till the airdrop happens?
Yeah, they'll have to wait till the airdrop happens. I don't know if we actually have the token configured in Collabland yet. I know that I personally haven't done that.
Okay, we can keep going. I just want to make sure. Okay, great. So Socio is another platform. They're a competitor of Hopins. They had really good reviews. There are really two significant differences. One is it is fully customizable, and the second one is that they charge you per participant instead of in tiers. So the reason why Socio is on here is if any of you guys are around tomorrow at 2 Eastern, I put this in the events tab in Token Summit. You are all welcome to join. I've got a call scheduled with the sales rep from Socio for a product demonstration. And then after that, I think we need to make a decision. So again, tomorrow, 2 Eastern, I'm guessing it's going to be a 30 to 60 minute call. I'm not sure, it won't be any longer than 60, but if any of you guys are interested in either researching Socio or being on that product demonstration, would love to have all of you there.
Yeah, and I just included a link to the Discord Seshbot event. I've got that on the screen right now. So if you're interested, RSVP, we'll get the details in that here when we have those all available if they're not. So we'll get that later. And this is on the event planning guidebook that we did in one of our previous working groups. This is where we're kind of putting some of the information regarding the conference platform tool choices. There was another one, and I'm not sure if we have a demo scheduled. And like Tyler was saying, and I don't know if you want to right now, Tyler, like get some parameters as far as like a decision matrix, or is that something that we've really talked about yet?
For Socio versus Hopin?
Or yeah, just on the yeah, for and whether we look at Big Marker too, because one of the that was another one that showed up on Capterra that was worth considering, and I think getting the right one here in place, because one of the dynamics that I think that we need to look at is the cost per attendee and what that looks like, whether it's 1,000, 5,000, or whatever the case may be.
Well, with Hopin, yeah, that's a good point. So with Hopin, a free event is 2 hours, and I think maybe capped at 100 participants. So we were looking at minimum 4, probably an 8-hour summit for the first one, so that free plan wouldn't work for us. And obviously, we're hoping for well over 100 participants. Their next tier up is $1,000 a month, unless we pay it a year in advance, which is $8,000. So that would be 1,200 participants in a year. So if we, if we do 500 or 1,000 participants on this first one, then we basically have to bump up to enterprise after that. Socio charges per person, but I don't know what that charge is. The other thing about Hopin is they charge a fee per registrant if you're using their registration. But again, with design, installing, unlock, then we should be able to process most, if not all, of the registrations ourselves and not pay that. We would, I don't think there's any charge with crypto. And then I think it's around 3% for credit card processing if people are not using crypto.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you said that the Socio or the Hopin one it's for the 1,200 people in a year. That's 8,000, which is 4,000 off of $1,000 a month. And that's still the same amount as you could get in a free, like free 100-person conference once a month.
Well, but so there's two things. It limits us. I think it limits us to 100 people, and it's only a 2-hour conference. So if we were doing more like a long meeting or a showcase profile or something like that, I think the 2-hour limit is what would get us.
Well, okay, here's my thing, right? What's the next stage up after that? Because like realistically, I definitely think we should be shooting for more than 1,200 people to show up just to the June one.
I agree, and I don't know what the tiered pricing is. And so one of the things, the Hopin sales rep, who is extremely knowledgeable and was very impressed with him, he's actually already sent me a couple follow-ups asking what we could do to get going. So I've been kind of blowing him off a little bit because we haven't finished the due diligence socio yet. But yeah, as far as the Hopin goes, we need to get a final price comparison of per person. And that was actually one of the draws of socio, was that if we end up with some random number like 537 attendees, we're not paying for 1,200. If we end up with 1,500 or 2,000 or 3,000 or whatever, some larger than 1,200 number, then we know what it's going to cost. It's just a cost per person. The event length for we could start with Hopin with a $99 a month plan, and that gives us 100 registrations, and then they start blocking in 100 registration. I think it's an extra $50 per 100 registrants. So if we wanted to start with that and just start scaling up, I don't know if we could switch it on the back end and say, okay, we got a lot more. Can we switch it? I don't know if they have any flexibility on that.
I would check into that, because if they have penalties on it, that could effectively price us out of profitability if we like get a shitload of success quickly. So
yeah, the other thing on the 99 versus the $7.99 a month plan is it's 1 admin versus 5. So I mean, Jason and I can use the same login, but I wouldn't feel comfortable using that with anybody else. Like if it was UE Money or DSign, or if anybody else on the team needs to admin this event, we need to bump it up so that everybody gets their own login. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here in the link for Zoom. Prince, love your enthusiasm. We should be able to do more numbers. Absolutely agree. And that was something that, to kind of dovetail into this thing, Jason and I are working on website solutions right now. We're not fully confident that our current hosting provider from Token Summit could handle an inflow. If a big server posts it and all of a sudden 1,000 people hit it at the same time, even just checking it out, I just don't want that to crash the website, because once your website crashes, people just walk away and they don't come back. So we want to make super sure that we've got a rock solid website service in place.
Yeah, and on that's something that there's still an opportunity for a better solution. And that's one of the things that I identified here on like the Metapod pitch competition, looking at the, let's see, where was it? One of their questions was, what do you foresee you need help with? And this is one of the things: we're deploying WordPress multi-site plus Unlock protocol to deliver our partnered community's marketing strategy with subdomains. this is still an immediate need and opportunity for a templated solution, WordPress multi-site theme. We're also contemplating using a Web3 native hosting solutions provider such as flake.co and would appreciate guidance on that. And I think that Dax chimed in a little bit because I saw where there was some effort from somebody in that was involved with Bankless somehow, where they were wanting to also potentially utilize flake.co for moving forward with decentralizing there. So we also have a ticket open, and that's an action item that I have as far as with our Web2 hosting provider, Rose Hosting. So, and I don't know if you wanted to chime in anything on that, Dax, as far as, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. I am looking into it right now. I don't have any, tangible information to share it with the team or anyone. But I am looking into it. As soon as I have more information, I will provide to you guys. Just a quick question going back to Web2 hosting. I know you posted an issue that we are facing currently, which is I believe some sort of a disconnection issue, right, between the website or something like that, database. I guess my question is, I don't know, you might not know the answer, but just curious to know, is that a dedicated some sort of a server that we have, we rented with them, or is it just like a app that just runs on the shared hosting platform? Just curious.
So it's technically a VPS, so it's a virtual private server, and I don't know if you've ever used a VPS before, but it's basically like whether it's 1/4 or 1/8 of a server. So you basically get a portion of the server's resources carved out. And then what's happening is that the VPS is running out of memory, and then to to sustain itself, it shuts down various processes. So that's what's occurring, is that there's too much being done. And the big concern here is that my expectation is this is going to be very bursty as far as like for example, we have a partnered community that does a Discord announcement for saying, hey, go get your Token Summit tickets now. And then there's a big rush because all of that happens at once. So having a solution in place that can accommodate very bursty demands, because that's my expectation of what's going to occur with this type of scenario, is that it's going to be very bursty, and then it's going to be almost nothing, and then very bursty, and then almost nothing. And we just don't want something to break, because right now, the way that we're doing the ticketing process through Unlocked Protocol, because one of the things that these conference or platform solutions do offer is a done-for-you ticketing solution, but they obviously don't accommodate the NFT ticketed solution that we're wanting to deploy with Unlocked Protocol.
They don't do the NFT ticketed solution, and it's pretty pricey. So it's for the $99 a month plan, they take 10% of your ticket sales, so 7% for that and 3% for the credit card processing. And then they since we're talking about this very large affiliate, losing another 10% on top of that is really going to hurt. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted to have our own ticketing solution, because if we don't use theirs, and we just pay the credit card processing fees and then the crypto, we have the option to just upload a spreadsheet and say these are the participants, like that, like give these people access with their emails, and that's it. So
yeah, thank you for that. again, there as well, in that, just bullet point that we just added, Jason. I think we need to kind of like come up with like a, like I don't know, bullet points or something like that as to what exactly we are looking for. One of the things that is the, the Web3 like support, right? Like someone has like a wallet, they should be able to connect and purchase NFT ticket. Is that we're trying to support that as well? I know it's going to be a combination of Web2, Web3 solution, but I'm just curious to know or wondering, are we allowing different payment methods, or is it totally through the unlock protocol?
Well, Unlock Protocol does have the opportunity for having a Stripe integration, and this is probably something that we need to take as an action item as far as getting a Stripe account set up. Can you add that, Tyler, as a action item here? Because I don't think that we've actually done that yet as far as capturing in Stripe. But the main thing right now, the current direction that we're looking to go for is using WordPress multi-site. So finding the best solution, and whether it's just doing something better with our current solution partner right now, which is Rose Hosting, or putting another one in place, we kind of need to make a decision here pretty quickly, because that is definitely one of my concerns, is having, we don't want to, like, our purchase for acquiring the tickets whenever we are ready for unveiling that for a partnered community. We want to make sure that website stays online there. So what I'm thinking, and this is something that I already did on our previous working group that didn't do yet, is to do a breakout conversation with a smaller group of people, because where we can work through as far as moving that conversation forward. So I'll get that on the calendar here early this week, and do a let us meet with some of the interested people so that we can move that forward most effectively. Keeping on down the list, let's actually move this one up, set up the Gnosis safe, because this is something that we spoke a little bit about. We've spoken about a little bit on previous working groups, but wanting to make sure that we capture, and whether we do, Tyler had, I think, a 4. I'm more interested in doing a 4 of 6 or 5 of 7, I think. And I don't know if that's too many. And like, one of the other things too, go ahead, Tyler.
I changed it to 4 of 7 because there were 7 people on the list. So I think I put 4 of 6, and then we added seven people. So
well, is there somebody that would like to be considered for the multi-sig that we don't have on the list right now?
You can throw me on there if you need a 7th.
yeah, that'd be great.
I definitely think it should be more than 4, though. So,
well, that was if we had 6, that'd be 2/3. 5 of 7 is fine too. Or
yeah.
Did anybody not want to be on it? These were just people. These were kind of just people that were on the core team. Does anybody not want to be on it?
I'm good.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So we'll go ahead and get that set up. I didn't ask White Hat. It's the middle of the night in Australia right now, but I'm hopeful that he will say yes. So
So as far as the partner list and volunteering, what did you have in mind to talk about on this bullet point here, Tyler?
So a couple things. One is we need to identify who the partners are going to be reached out to. So I know some of us have different relationships with different people. I wanted to get some kind of organized list of who's committed to reaching out to which potential partner community. Imani, you'd mentioned a handful of them. Jason and I have some. I know that D-Sign's in some, White Hat, whoever else. I just need to get a partner list to make sure that we know who is reaching out to each partner so that we don't have more than one reach out, and that those people are actually getting in touch, so that if we just assume that just because you know a partner that you actually are being intentional about that. So I just wanted to kind of get those, get some system for that.
Hi, Tyler. This is Amy. Do we have those lists already? The ones that are already saying they're going to work on? Because I am part of several DAOs and communities, and I'd like to just kind of check so we don't double on the work. And then I'll give you my list.
That'd be great. So on the biz dev page, we have a list of people that we would like to reach out to. And most of these people have not been reached out to. These were just ideas. So on the community page, Julie assembled a great list, and I think Amy, you did too, assembled a great list of potential sponsors. And one of the reasons why I really wanted us to be intentional about presenting the June conference is I'm expecting a much bigger audience, and we want to get them to commit early by throwing in the stuff for February for free. But Jason, if you've got some way that we can assign people to the ones that they want to claim, or if you want to assign themselves, or tell me the best way to do that.
Yeah, that's all a capability in Notion. So like on this card here for BUIDL, and we could change this to make it easier if you want to, instead of the POC for 3Win, we could just name this assignee. And then like here, it just allows one person to be designated as the assignee.
All right, cool. So Amy and team, why don't you go through that list, and any community that you are definitely going to reach out to, just assign it to yourself. And then if there's a community that you know about that's not on the list, just add it and then assign it to yourself. And if any of you guys don't have access to Notion, let me know so we can get you added. Also, Julie had a conflict this afternoon. She couldn't be here, but she's actually designing the one-page flyer that we had. We kind of banged through the press kit last time, and Julie's cleaning that up and designing it for us, and also the pitch book. So we should have that here shortly.
Nice. Looking forward to that, and that's something hopefully we'll have the opportunity of, and I don't know what the format will be for the Metapod pitch competition, but that might be even something that can utilize there coming up. If it's a audio video, if it's just audio, then can make do without the visual cue that the pitch does. But I saw that and I really like the green coloring with the blue Token Summit DAO logo that we're using right now.
Yeah, so that on the agenda, sponsors and partners were the same thought on that. Sponsors are, who are you committed to? And actually, we should probably, I need to figure out a way to tag this in Notion. Are you going to ask people to sponsor? Are you going to ask people to partner? Or are you going to ask people for both? So I just want to make sure that we are, we're getting all that covered. I thought Ernest was on the call, but I'm not seeing him here anymore. I'm not sure if he's listening in on the live stream, but one of the things that he's pretty involved in Bankless, and I was hoping that we could partner with them and potentially Open DAO. And then there are some new NFT communities that I would love to get involved in June, but I don't know if it makes sense for them for DAO Day because they're not really DAOs or they're not DAOs at all, but they're just great partners. I don't know if maybe Imani, you can talk to this. Would some of these NFT communities that are not DAOs or they're DAO-ish, would they be interested in being part of a DAO conference and then doing the full NFT thing in June, or no?
Possibly.
Yeah, and like one thought, like Chubby Kaiju, where we've got proximity there with Open DAO, which Chubby Kaiju, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, is a DAO. And I think that there's probably enough NFT collections that are DAOs that we should shortlist for inviting for DAO Day here on 2/22/22. And the DAO-ish ones, we can leave those more for the future token summit is kind of my thoughts.
I think when our what you call this, our project proposal is done, you need to do a YouTube video so we can share that to our, whatever sponsor or partner wants to go in. So it explains to them what we're planning on doing without us really, just we want our message to be the same. And so if Jason, after we have our paperwork ready to sell our conference, then if you can do that, then we can tell them, go watch this video and let me know what you think or something like that. Is that possible?
Yeah, so much so, Amy, that I'm actually going to add that as a next action here to create a 2-minute token summit DAO pitch video on YouTube. Is that a good action item right there by, I think, let's say February 3rd. And I'll get this added in another section, but is that kind of what you were, to summarize what you were suggesting there,
Yes,
Amy? Is
yes, because I can attach that link when I go to rooms in the communities I'm involved in, or even in the Discord DAOs I'm involved in, and they can watch it. Because most of the founders of the DAOs I'm involved, recently I have their DMs, so I can just show them that pitch.
Yeah, and on that note, this might be a good opportunity to just talk about doing a some social audio here this week via the DAO Hack channel, since we're bringing in the DAO Hack under the Triple Win Foundation. And this would be, I think, a good opportunity. And whether it's a combination of Clubhouse with Twitter Spaces, and this isn't even something that actually made our agenda list, but this is something that I thought about, but didn't get it on the agenda list. So what would be your thoughts, Amy, and or anybody else, as far as actually putting some of these social audio via Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces on the calendar here to really start promoting Token Summit DAO, or not even just promoting it, but just being more conversational using the social audio and getting feedback as far as like some topics that people would like to see discussed and delved into.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I think at this point we don't want to confuse a lot of people. You can do a room on certain topics with DAO Hack, and I guess what you're wanting is to promote, but I don't know. Sometimes being that they don't know who we are. We just don't want confusion out there yet. You know what I mean? Let's get them on board before we kind of subdivide these DAOs that we have. So that's just my thought. I mean, concentrating on token summits, uh, what we're doing, and the conferences that are up and coming is, I think, a better focus for them.
Well, maybe I didn't word that clearly enough. The room would absolutely be only about Token Summit, and using that so that we don't have to create like a brand new room there. Because like, and I don't know if that makes sense, but the conversation.
Oh, okay, I understand now. Because you already
Yes.
have DAO Hack in Clubhouse, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and we've already got like almost 80 people in there. So instead of just like creating a new club, using the sister club, the DAO Hack, where we would create a room to talk about, hey, what would you like to know about DAOs on DAO Day 2222 or whatever? And then that would be just the theme of that room that day. And then the goal would be to capture feedback from people where we could really utilize the social audio channel to leverage one, getting feedback from people as far as in a very timely manner what people would like to hear so that we could deliver that for them, but then also provide an opportunity to, and the thought too is, I don't know if we're completely ready. Like, let's say we had a Clubhouse room today. I wouldn't say that we're ready today to begin taking orders for the NFT ticketed event on DAO Day yet. So that's something that we need to get online as soon as possible. But I still think the opportunity of, garnering more interest for Token Summit, and then also just having some conversations, because like, we haven't had that much conversations during these working groups yet. And then like the benefit of just amplifying the conversation to a larger audience than what we have here today, like via either Clubhouse or Twitter Spaces, I think would be a lot of fun.
I think what we can do once we decided when to do the rooms, I think we can direct them to Discord to do a poll. Like, certain days will have this topic, and whatever is their input, we'll tell them join the Discord and do a poll on that Discord so we know what to include in our conferences. Just a thought.
I think that's a good idea. Getting some people in and crowdsourcing or getting temperature checks on different topics would be hugely helpful.
Well, let's just pin in some times here. You've got a better pulse, Amy, as far as when the better times are for a Clubhouse. What are your thoughts as far as putting some of these on here this next week?
I'll let you, I'll have to think about that deeper because I just finished work right now, but I will go over my notes and see which rooms are, or which days and times are really busy. So I will let you know. I'll DM you as soon as I get that information.
Sounds like a plan. So we'll add this as an action item. Is let's do at least set up one Clubhouse room and one Twitter Spaces for 2022 week 5, which is starting tomorrow. So there's that action item. So website finalization, we kind of already spoke about that up here in this. I'm going to just drag this up as a sub bullet point there, since we had kind of already spoke about that. And Tyler had this on there. We've been putting some of the expenses on business cards. So that's just kind of, we'll get that drafted up here, and that'll probably come later.
That's just that's going to be a treasury distribution proposal. So I just wanted everybody to know that that's something that we're going to be asking for. And in the future, we are, and once we actually have a treasury, we are going to be doing these votes in advance. I don't like just spending money then asking for reimbursement, but that's kind of the way it worked out because we didn't have a treasury. The other thing, the flip side of this is we got turned down for our bank account for Uphold. So they wanted to have commercial bank statements, like multiple months of commercial bank statements, and we said we don't have them. That we're crypto. That's why we're here, because we're trying to be crypto/fiat, and then they turned us down. So we're kind of back to the drawing board on having a bank account, and that's driven a little bit of the frustration trying to pay bills for things that we're not able to pay for in crypto, like our Zoom subscription and Restream and things like that. So if any of you guys have any solutions, or if you're working with DAOs that have managed to get regular bank accounts set up, we would love to do that.
Yeah, and I added a little additional details. Specifically, it's a bank account or a bank that accepts a Wyoming DAO LLC business entity type, which is how that.
I have a thought
go
on
ahead.
that.
Go ahead, Amy.
I think if you go to a small country bank, they wouldn't know what that is. They'll just take you in and have a commercial account. You know, for fiat at that time, that is what Uphold wants, is just history of banking history. So maybe you can try the smaller bank that would just not even know what that is. All they need is a paperwork in their file, for real. Because I've lived in countrysides, and that's basically, they just put it in a folder and don't look at it.
If you can find us one that will take us, that would be fantastic. We're kind of scrambling on Token Summit right now. I don't have time to research that, but if you can take that, that would be super helpful.
And I don't know if it's going to be absolutely necessary to have that in place here in the near term, because like one of the reasons that we put this on the agenda for Retoken was in potential anticipation of receiving fiat funds from the American-made Solar Prize project. So that was kind of the urgency there. But just having a solid solution, and this is something that we should, bring forward in some manner during our talk. So it might make sense to spend some efforts on this. And I think that reaching out to amplifying that in some various channels, like in the DAOlationships, and I might take this as an action item because I am in the Bankless DAOlationships, and I know that Ernest of Gaia is very involved over there at Bankless DAO. I'm not. I know that Dax is as well. So, and I definitely get what you're saying there, Amy, and this might be a road trip opportunity for Tyler and I to bounce up here from Colorado up to Wyoming and see if we could find a smaller bank that would open up an account for us. And because it does have like a lot of opportunity for that bank. The challenge with that though is that we would really like a solution that we don't have to go in person to open an account. And credit union too, like we already had a little bit of attempts already, not necessarily with Retoken or with Token Summit DAO, but we can take that offline as far as looking, and because it may be a valuable piece of content for DAO Day 22222 because anyway, that's all that the agenda. Was there anything that we skipped over that we needed to come back to here, Tyler?
Well, so on the Gnosis Safe, what do we do? Do we have a Gnosis Safe set up? I'm just trying to figure out how do we actually get it set up, get the signers, get the funds transferred from Retoken, and get set up to have. So on these grants that we're applying for, we have to identify, and I'm not sure if they're asking for a wallet or a Gnosis Safe but we have to identify where we want grants to be received at. So I want to make sure that we've got the proper corporate setup and we're telling them to transfer it to the right place.
Yeah, and on that, we need two multi-sigs. We need one for Ethereum and one for Polygon. Our social tokens are on Polygon, but a lot of the times, like when you're receiving grant funds, that'll come across typically on Ethereum, and that's just the more common where a lot of treasury assets are held is. And that was something too, where the opportunity, because White Hat was telling us about parcel.money, and that's something that we should add down here as far as explore parcel.money, because the way I was understanding it is, and he's making it sound like on Ethereum mainnet, they've got some opportunity where they reimburse or something where the transaction costs are minimalized there. So and let's see. So see next action below. So for that, I think it's just a matter of like going through the process and creating that and making sure that we've got everybody. So what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got to make sure that everybody that we've got itemized here wants to be on the list. And then setting it up it's a pretty easy process. And I don't know if we wanted to include that in a snapshot vote, or if we just wanted to have that done and get it done. I'm good either way.
I think we should vote on it. I think anytime we have an opportunity to give people a vote, I think that's important. I wouldn't leave the window open for very long, maybe 24 hours. But I think everybody who would vote on it, who is going to get Genesis tokens, is probably on this call, except for maybe White Hat and D-Sign. So, but yeah, I just think it's super important that we just give people as many votes as we can.
Yeah, and on that, this is again just one more opportunity where we can add it to our content calendar, where we can incorporate that, because this is, again, we already spoke about our best practices, and having a Gnosis multi-sig safe in there is definitely a best practices. So the opportunity to amplify that via some piece of content absolutely exists. So if you're interested in being more involved on the content, let us know, because these sorts of things, like, we've really found that a forum such as this is not really conducive for really spending a lot of time on content, like whether that's creating a blog post or social media tweets or posts or whatever the case may be. I mean, we did spend some time talking about our Genesis proposal, because that's, a foundational document for the DAO organization here. So again, and that's one of the things I want to capture here as far as the decision. Genesis proposal deadline for feedback is 10 p.m. EST tonight, Sunday, 30th of January, 2022. So everybody, make sure that you take a look at the Genesis proposal, because this will be the last opportunity to chime in there, and then it will go forward. I'm planning on doing a live stream airdrop for everybody that's participated in the working groups up to date, and we'll get that summarized so that you all can see that, to make sure that if we did mistake on the discrepancies on the accounting, and this is one of the things that we're going to be switching forward to a coordinate mechanism. So we'll get the coordinate set in place, because week 5 will be, and let me show that real quick here on the tokenomics. And has everybody used coordinate, or is that something that we should probably schedule? We should probably just schedule a quick thinking 30-minute time and for going through to make sure to get everybody on the same page on coordinate, because we're planning on having weekly epics here, and there's a very large amount of tokens that are going to be distributed via coordinate. But then also the other important consideration is that we're planning on using the numbers that are calculated within coordinate for distributing, and this is something that we will have more conversations about, because we've got since we're not technically having any sponsors for DAO Day coming up here, and again, we're planning on incorporating the sponsors that commit and sponsor our event, the Token Summit coming up in June, that we're going to give them bonus access and exposure on DAO Day coming up here on February 22nd. So we'll have more conversation as far as how that the coordinate here from season 0 and then the coordinate from season 1 will factor into us getting paid as a team here too, because that's something that I'm acutely aware of, and not even just based upon my experience in the DAO ecosystem, but all the time that I spent in corporate America and corporate India, that you don't want to mess with people's pay, and we want to make sure that we're all on the same page on that. So again, coordinate, we'll put like a quick maybe 30-minute. Go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, by the way, speaking of coordinate, since Retoken is a little bit on pause right now, I also paused the coordinates. I didn't really have a good way to allocate them to anybody because everybody's over here right now, and we're gonna have our own coordinate. I'm not an admin on the dev team, so I wasn't able to turn that off, but I did turn off all the other epics. So if you notice that those epics are not recurring in Retoken, it's because I turned them off temporarily, and I'm planning on turning them back on as soon as we are through this first summit and we're back on Retoken full time also.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. So we'll get the sometime on the calendar for coordinate to make sure that everybody is aware on how to use coordinate, because it will be an important component here, and we'll again have more conversations on that and the distribution of the proceeds for what we're creating here, because that's the thing. We want this to be a fun, first of all, event and a profitable event for us, our partnered communities, and equitably profitable for the sponsors as well. We want to have solid sponsors that we all believe are aligned with the DAO ecosystem. But then also, create wins for those sponsors through the exposure that we expect that they'll get through this amazing event that we're creating here. So I'm gonna stop talking here. I feel really good as far as what we've captured from the decisions and the next actions, but I'm gonna stop talking and make sure that we've gotten everything accounted for today's agenda and spoken on that we were wanting to.
The biggest thing is the most important thing from an action item is everybody please go into Notion on the biz dev page and start assigning yourself to whatever communities you want, so we have some idea of who's doing what. And only do ones that you definitely want to reach out to, because I don't want you to just randomly grab stuff and then not really care about it. But that's going to give us a much better idea of where we are.
So does that capture this as far as the action item? And I'm going to just put a little link here to BizDev. And I did get the permissions updated on the BizDev, where that page, as discussed on our previous working group, is not publicly accessible. And I think I mentioned that we upgraded to the enterprise level Notion here. And that's one of the things that I've really been enjoying using Notion, and will be probably doing more training as far as using Notion here very soon, and wanting to get some of these other action items. But like, and if there's a specific need that you have where we can help get you up to speed, like I caught up with Julie the other day and kind of was going through some of the biz dev stuff. And that's one of the things that Tyler and I would absolutely love for the people that are wanting to contribute, to hop on a quick live stream and then get that so that we can share and level everybody up here. Because I know for a lot of this, myself included, like I only started using Notion with our involvement over at BUIDL, which was middle November, early December. So I'm very new to using Notion. So we're all learning together here on that topic.
Oh, and one other thing, I'm just super excited that we've built a great community, that Token Summit and Retoken are both continuing to grow. We're in several other DAOs that have some major membership slippage. And I'm just really excited that everybody feels like our communities are worth joining and staying in. And I just think that that's a real testament to everybody on this call, that people and anybody that wants to be on the team's on the team. So there's no gateway to getting involved. And I just think that I'm super proud of what we're building here for that reason.
Yeah, and to echo and amplify that a little bit for anybody that may be watching this replay, we do have a very inclusive and inviting operation modality, where whatever we're involved with, we believe that you can contribute something of value here, and you're absolutely welcome to hop in and contribute. So thank you for bringing that up there as well, Tyler.
That's everything I had on that. I'm feeling really good about this. D-Sign had a conflict; he wasn't able to attend. And oh, actually, I did have one other thing. D-Sign has done a ton on the website, and D-Sign and OX Animal both did a ton of work on the Discord. D-Sign's got some conflicts coming up right now that he's not going to be able to be as involved moving forward. So we're going to have to start outsourcing some of that, and just want to put that out there. If anybody's got resources on that, Ernest had recommended somebody this morning, and we're gonna need a little tech help. So if anybody knows somebody that wants to be involved with this thing, we need to know that here pretty soon.
And we'll only continue to look for new people throughout this process too, because we're really just ramping up here with this mini summit on 2/22/22 for the very first International DAO Day, and then really looking to leverage what we have learned there to deliver our first 3-day virtual event on June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, and then repeat that in October, and then do that every 4 months, February, June, and October going forward, because we believe that the space here is going to grow very quickly and creating a fun and accessible event, virtual event. And I think that there's even going to be a lot of opportunity. And this is something that I was talking to Mrs. Yonks about, as far as doing more of a hybrid type of event, you know, like we've already started getting a little experience with meetup.com and the opportunity of really, you know, bridging a in-person dynamic with a virtual event, and that will fit really well into creating a fun and engaging experience, because that's, I think, one of the most important things is to deliver on that. But before we call it a day here on Sunday afternoon, for those of us US based, what else here for working group number 6? I am also feeling very good about everything that we covered here. The biggest thing is the review the Genesis proposal. I'll be doing that myself. I'll also be doing an airdrop, which will be the very first airdrop based upon the working group and the Genesis team participation thus far, with the plan, like we've discussed here, to go forward with Coordinate starting on week 5, which starts on Monday. So we'll kick off that Coordinate, and we'll make sure to get everybody added to that. But I'm going to stop talking and let everybody else chime in some thoughts here.
This is really good. Looks like things are really starting to come together. So that's great.
Yeah, and I didn't mention this, but we've also got a handful of confirmed speakers. I didn't want to fill up all the slots to leave some more slots for partners and sponsors who would want slots, but we're getting a really solid lineup so far, so I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, where's that timeline that you were working on here, Tyler? Was that here under?
I think it's yeah. Again, this is not anything finalized on the schedule. This was just me just filling up the content. So Kate
Wow.
CPA
Sandy.
is what's that?
I'm just saying, wow, Sandy Carter, she's fantastic.
Yeah, she is fantastic. She's
from Amazon, right? Oh, she's from Amazon now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she came from Amazon. She's now the senior VP over at Unstoppable Domains, and she's also the chairman of the board of a I think it's Girls in Crypto or Girls in Coding. It's some kind of like girls charity event that I thought would be super interesting if and Amy and this is probably this is for everybody, but particularly for Amy. One of my friends who's not part of Retoken had said, you're doing these events, they sound so cool. Have you thought about doing a women in crypto event or women in DAOs, or, you know, just like because this industry is so male heavy. And I thought, man, that's a pretty cool idea. So not related to what we're doing, just kind of a side thought. But anyway, yeah, Sandy Carter is confirmed. Kate Waltman is katecpa.eth. She is a CPA who specializes in NFT, Web3, crypto, accounting issues. I thought she'd be really interesting. She's committed. Adam Bloomberg has a great community over at Planar DAO. Jason actually interviewed him on the DAO Hack podcast, and I wanted to have him talk about DAOs in a professional space. Planar DAO is like financial planner, insurance agent, wealth management, tax attorney, all those. That group of professionals is who he takes care of in Planar DAO. Chris Murphy, and I don't know if it's going to end up being Chris or Julian or somebody else from their team, but for those of you who were on our first working group, Chris was very enthusiastic about promoting Unlock on stage because we're using it. So he's pretty excited about that. I had reached out to Adam Stallard and Ben Schechter. I haven't heard back from either of them yet, and I wanted to leave some space for partners who want spaces. So that's kind of what I've been working on so far. And then again, if any of you guys have ideas of people that we really need with Hopin, and we're going to find out if Socio has the same capability to do a multiple stages at the same time. So Jason likes to call it choose your own adventure. We do want to make this a pretty content rich event. So there's a possibility if we book more speakers than we have time, we can just book multiple speakers at the same time, and then participants can see who they want, or we can add more value to the replay so they can get all the content.
Yeah, and like one of the other things too that, and this was something that I haven't even shared with you, but there's already been a little bit of discussion in the BUIDL Discord as far as doing building a test server, or just basically how to build a Discord server for a DAO in 2022, and just kind of like doing a workshop on that. And I think that would be, and I'm actually planning on switching from doing that there at BUIDL to doing it here via a workshop. So just that kind of thing, I think, would be something of a value added type of dynamic that is a little bit more fun, and maybe a little more potentially hands-on and stuff. And that's one of the things too, just thinking out loud, where we could potentially have a hybrid content strategy, like some of the things like what I'm talking about there with this, how to build a Discord server for a DAO in 2022. That would be some content that would want to exist outside of this DAO day, in the form of that would be a very evergreen piece of content on our YouTube channels, for example. And that's the kind of thing where we can deliver it within the virtual summit, but then also multi-purpose that content into our YouTube channels, or potentially even live stream it while we're doing the event. And again, just thinking out loud, but I think that's the opportunity that we're going to have to be very creative in the types of contents and the formats and stuff like that we've got with this virtual conference platform. And then even looking forward, the opportunity of potentially doing hybrid events where some of it is in person and some of it may be virtualized as well. That is, again, the opportunity that we have with this technology platform that we're creating here.
Yeah, DSign had put on there, I think, classes and workshops, which I actually was going to tell them to take off because I didn't think we were going to be having any workshops. And I thought maybe we should add in a bunch of workshops. That would be a ton of value added content, and it'd be great.
Well, I'll put the one on the list there for the Discord server, because I think that there's an immediate need and opportunity to do that and really showcase some best practices. And I think that's one of the things that will be, and it'll be interesting to see how our own Discord here for Token Summit grows, but really anticipate and expect and hope that this can be a very solid collaboration point for the entire Web3 ecosystem here within our Discord server. And that's one of the things that really looking to do. I was playing around a little bit with bridging channels, and I still don't have a good solution. So if somebody really wants to take this as an action item, this is an action item and an opportunity and what I'm thinking here is imagine already showed some of the diplomacy channels, with Metapod or Retoken or whatever the case may be, Bankless, or the DAO hack, to have a channel that is basically a bridge where you can have conversations where somebody they can stay at their home base Discord server, but still engage bidirectionally in conversation in that channel. I think would be really cool. And it's just a matter of getting that delivered. Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, and I think that's great. I wanted to kind of call time on this meeting because we've got another meeting coming up here we need to get ready for. So, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time. But how's everybody feeling about what we're doing so far?
I mean, I already chimed in. This is pretty exciting. And now that we have some speakers lined up, it's hey, this is really happening,
Yeah, well, it's been pretty amazing because the speakers that we have were my top choices for various reasons. And I spent 17 years in professional sales, and I'm used to just like having to go through 100 calls to try and get somebody to tell me yes. And all of a sudden, first 4 people I asked all said yes, and it was pretty magical. So I just want you guys to know my little sales heartbeat feels good that our team made a good enough value proposition. When I asked busy, exciting professional people to be part of this thing, they all want to be part of it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I do have to applaud Mrs. Yonks because her delivering on the speakers, that was all her effort. I actually had to dial her back a little bit on the speakers initiative because I was like, hey, we're going to have probably a good opportunity of any of these partnered communities and or sponsors that we're looking to also contribute to the speaking and the engagement there. And then go ahead.
I forgot. We actually, this guy's not on the list yet, but Superfluid's actually also in too. So he's the last one.
Nice, and that's Superfluid. We've talked about in other conversations, and definitely looking forward to learning and using that tool more for delivering all the different things, including incentivized payment mechanisms for contributors, as well as potentially using that in our Token Town, the HOA destroyer. But anyway, we could talk about this stuff all day. We're very, very excited about the plan that we've worked together on as far as the mini summit to kick off DAO Day here on February 22nd of 2022, which will be 3 weeks from Tuesday, coming up right around the corner, right on the heels of ETH Denver. So I think that we'll be able to further amplify whatever efforts that we put forward. And I'll keep everybody posted as far as the Metapod competition coming up here from Metapod DAO. I think that this is their first foray as Metapod DAO into launching this basically DAO incubator model that they're creating with Metapod. And again, but yeah, happy Sunday, everybody. Going to be doing an airdrop, so welcome. You will all soon be TS DAO, Token Summit DAO token holders. And looking forward to getting some more creative tokenomics here with Token Summit DAO tokens. And we'll have more conversations about that in 2022 and going forward.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you all.